Hi, this is Steve, KBZ, and I'd like to do a short video here demonstrating copying Morse code on a manual typewriter, and as they were referred to in the military or commercial telegraphers, they referred to them as a mill. A mill was basically a manual typewriter that didn't have any lowercase letters. All of the letter keys typed an uppercase letter whether you shifted or didn't shift. I'm going to be copying on this Smith Corona. It's a Classic 12. These typewriters were made in the 1960s, and this is a real boat anchor. This is a real heavy-duty typewriter that has the feel of a mill. The mills I copied on in the Navy were actually Royal brand typewriters. They look just like a manual Royal typewriter, quite a bit larger than this Smith Corona. But this really has the feel of a mill, and you can really knock it around. You're not going to knock it off the table hitting the carriage return. So we're gonna load this up and demonstrate what this is like. I actually looked online trying to find videos on YouTube of someone copying on a mill, and the only thing I could find was one fellow was copying on a keyboard, and you need a real light touch on a keyboard. On a mill, copying on a mill, you really need to haul off. You've got to pound those keys. So we're going to use some code practice files from the ARRL website. I'm going to start at 20 words a minute, and I'm only going to copy maybe 2 or 3 lines at each speed, but I'm starting at 20 words a minute, and we'll go up from there. They go up in increments of 5 words a minute. So it's going to be 20, 25, 30, 35, and so on. We'll go up, see what we can do up to 40 words a minute. Now, starting at 20, it should be pretty solid copy. Should be very good copy over 25 words a minute, but as I get closer to 40 words a minute, the copy is not going to be as good. In the time it takes just to do a carriage return, a lot of times an entire word could go by, and trying to catch up at 40 words a minute is not very easy, but it may be somewhat readable. I'll admit right off the bat, 40 words a minute is not going to be perfect copy, but it should be somewhat readable. And when we're done, I'll scan the page and put that at the end of the video. So we're already at the ARRL website, and we've selected the 20 word per minute files. Now they have many files here at all of these speeds. These are what they use for their code practice transmissions. Also, I want to say, normally I'd be copying with headphones. You don't get the distraction of the noise of the typewriter or any other noise using headphones, but if I plug headphones in, you wouldn't be able to hear the code itself. So I'm just going to pick a random file here at 20 words a minute, and we'll see how it goes. My camera person, my wife, will probably move around and okay. We'll stop there on the 20 word a minute file. Let's bump it up 5 words a minute up to 25. One of my problems copying at that speed is if you anticipate what you're copying and start typing ahead, you can guess wrong, and I did that on the first line. They started to say that this text was from the July QST, and I started typing June because I was anticipating June. So that can happen. As the speeds get higher, you really can't anticipate as well, and you shouldn't do that anyways. Here's 25 words a minute. Okay. We'll move up now and select a 30 word per minute file. Just pick one at random. I'm going to start that over. You try another. I was anticipating there again, and closed the wrong tab here. Okay, let's do another 30 word per minute restart here. Okay. See, it doesn't take quite as long to copy 3 or 4 lines at 30 words a minute as it does 20. Now we're going up to 35, and this is the way the FCC used to test. You had to copy the speed at for 5 minutes, and you had to have 1 minute of perfect copy. I have qualified through the ARRL up to 35 words a minute, but that was quite a long while ago. Whether I can do that now or not, I really don't know. Probably not 1 minute of perfect copy, but still it should be quite readable. So we'll give 35 words a minute a try. And last but not least, we're going to give 40 words a minute a shot. This would be helpful to have headphones on. Even turning your head, you get different echoes, and at these speeds that can make making out the characters more difficult. One technique that they always tried to train operators to use when copying on a mill is to copy behind. And the good CW men that copied on a mill could copy 5 or 6 characters behind. And that helped if you were anticipating what you were copying. If you're copying immediately and getting ahead or caught up with what you're receiving, you can guess wrong. A lot of what we copied were cryptograms. They weren't plain text messages. We did copy quite a bit of plain text, but we also copied a lot of cryptograms, and they were just 5 groups of random characters. And they could either be all letters, all numbers, or mixed groups of letters and numbers mixed, and also including punctuation. We had to copy colon, semicolon, question mark, period, and ampersand, and quotation marks. And those were all used in the cryptograms that we copied, and so it could be just random groups of letters, numbers, and punctuation marks in these encrypted messages. So we're going to give the last one here a try at 40 words a minute. This is over my limit, but we'll see how it turns out. Okay, I'm going to stop that. some of these files are particularly difficult, and some of them are long. For example, it might have been a contest where there are long lists of call signs, and those are hard for me at that speed where you have letters and numbers mixed into call signs. This one had a website address that I just slaughtered. I'm going to pick another one here. We'll give one more different 40-word a minute file a shot here, just for fun, and then I'll probably knock it off. Okay. We'll call it quits there. But anyways, that'll give you some idea of what some people did for a living for long periods of time. On Guam at the Naval Communications Station, my shifts were 4 hours. We worked one day shift, day watch, they called it a day watch from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Had 8 hours off, came back at midnight, worked from midnight to 8 a.m. mid-watch. Had another 8 hours off, came back at 4 p.m. and worked 4 p.m. to midnight, and then had 2 days off. So in a 2-day period of time, we worked 24 hours in less than a 2-day period of time and had 2 days off. Did that for 3 years. And most of that time was copying code on a mill. Most of it was cryptograms, some of it was plain text. And don't see that much of that going on anymore. A lot of contesters will copy call signs, but I just wonder how many former military people there are out there today in the ham radio world that still copy on a keyboard. You can do a little better on a keyboard with headphones on, but it's fun to copy on a mill. And in the workspace, there were probably 15 operators down there with headphones on that had two R390 receivers and some other equipment, and we're just banging away on these mills for 8 hours straight. The people we copied had what they called a silent period, where they listened for ships in distress. That happened at 15 minutes after the hour and 45 minutes after the hour. The silent periods were about 5 minutes in length, so you may be copying consistently up until 15 minutes after the hour, and the net control would stop the sending station and send ASSP, or wait, silent period. And everything would stop, so you quickly refill your coffee cup, run down the hall to the head and get back to your operating position, put the headphones back on and get ready to go. And it would start up again, and you might go for another 30 minutes until you got the other silent period at 1:45, and in between the schedules you were searching, looking for targets to copy, and that was pretty much the life there for a CTR brancher at the communication station on Guam. So thanks for watching. I'll scan this page and we'll stick that at the end of the video. Thank you.
Okay, now we're going to take a look at what we copied here. Each of these files start out with the speed that they're sending, and they also tell you where the text is from. The text is from articles in QST magazine, and they tell you what issue of the magazine and what page it's from. And And you can see at 20 words a minute, wasn't too bad here. I had a few typos and some missed characters. And 25 words a minute, I hit 2 keys at the same time when I was reaching for the 5. Right here where it shows 25 words per minute. But still the copy is pretty good. Not quite 100%, but very readable. When I started the 30 word per minute, I was anticipating 35 and typed 35 instead of 30. That's where I started that one over. But here's the 30 word per minute. Still not too bad. 35 word per minute. Still not too bad. A few typos in there, but for the most part you can understand what's being sent. Here's where I really started to have some difficulty. I started the first 40 word per minute file and was having trouble keeping up right off the bat. And like I said, in a room with hard walls like we have in here, even turning your head when you're listening to that code through speakers, you'll get different echoes, and those characters really mush together. Not making excuses for myself, even with headphones this probably wouldn't have been much better, but it sure sounds better with headphones on. You don't get those echoes and other sounds in the room distracting you. But here's where it really got me. They started sending a website address and all of these periods mixed in with just random letters, and lost concentration, and after that it just was a bunch of gibberish trying to keep up. There's a handful of words, a couple of words, and several characters in here that were copied correctly, but the rest is just a jumble. Then I reset and started another 40 word a minute file, and it's a little better. But even you'll see the first where you'll be reading this and it looks like everything's going along fine, and you'll go to the next line. Well, what that is just hitting the carriage return alone. Usually I just gave up on that first word of the next line and just waited for a word break and started copying the next word. And if you're copying on a computer with a keyboard, you can, when you get used to the difference in the feel between the manual typewriter and the keyboard, it's a lot lighter touch. Plus, everything word wraps, and you don't have to worry about hitting that carriage return. Those Royal typewriters, or Royal Mills we copied on, had a big hook on the carriage return level, so you couldn't hardly miss it. You'd reach up and slap that carriage return, and you couldn't hardly miss it. On that Smith Corona typewriter I was copying on, the carriage return lever was kind of a straight bar. It was a little flat at the end, but when I've been practicing with that, I've sometimes missed the bar altogether, or my hand slipped off it, and only got part way through a carriage return, and my hand slipped off, so I only got back to the middle of the page. But that's what copying on a mill is like, and just thought I'd put this together and throw it out there on YouTube, because I don't think there are any others quite like that out there. I haven't found any anyways. So if there's any Navy CTs, in particular R branchers out there, they'll probably get a kick out of seeing some of this nostalgia. And for other hams and interested people, you can kind of see what some of the Navy communicators did back in the day when Morse Code was one of the modes that they used a great deal in the military. So thanks for watching, and hope to see you in the next video.